Hey guys, I am Navin Kambhat and you are listening to my Not So Profound Thoughts. Today I'll be talking about the credit history, how the credit scores impact your interest rates, and the business of zero cost EMI. So, to talk about loans and EMIs, earlier it started way back during we didn't had the calendar also. We can say it on 320 BC in the Mesopotamian era where the kings used to give loans and the payments used to be made with interest on equal monthly installments. So this is how EMI came to use, and this is how the new generation is using the EMI scheme. Personally, I don't like the EMI scheme. Uh, if I had taken a loan or something else, that is exceptional. But otherwise, using EMI on day-to-day basis, on a regular basis, like buying phones or fridges or electronic equipments or gadgets, I personally don't recommend using the EMI, even though it is a zero-cost EMI. So, what happens in India, if we say that Bajaj Finance came, was the first company to bring up zero cost EMI. Now, what is zero cost EMI? Basically, it is that consumers don't have to pay any interest. While it is a psychological impact that you will be seeing that you don't have to pay interest. So, let's suppose say you have a 30,000 salary per month and you wish to buy a TV that is worth 40,000 and you make it in a zero cost EMI. Let's say the companies give you 6 month EMI and you have to pay an upfront fee, as well as the Bajaj Finance, which earlier used to do that, gives you zero cost EMI, and so you make that payment. So what happens, even though they don't earn in zero cost EMI, they make you habituated to use that EMI options as and when available. So you don't have the capacity to buy a TV or a fridge or anything else, you may say. You have started using EMI. Now you bought a TV, you started using EMI. You still have a portion of your salary left. You wanted a new phone. So you go to a shop and then what do you say? That give me the phone on EMI. The phone might not be available on a zero cost EMI, but once you are habituated of using EMI, you are agreeing to pay an interest of 11% or 12% per annum and still buying that phone. So, as and when your salary is low and your wants are more, you will be regularly paying interest, and the companies will be earning way too much money out of the interest that you have been paid. So, how did Bajaj Finance come up with zero cost finance and EMI? So, earlier, what used to happen is no credit cards or debit cards were giving zero cost EMI or even the EMIs to the customers. The credit and the debit card, you just swipe it and the amount is deducted from your bank. In credit card, what used to happen is you swipe and that much amount of credit is being utilized. Bajaj Finance came up with an option that we as an NBFC, that is non-banking financial corporation, will provide you a credit only if you use the Bajaj Finance card. So they made several tie-ups with the manufacturers itself. And suppose we say that a TV or an electronic gadget, let's say, is costing 10,000, so the 5% is being directly deducted, or the money is being given discount by the manufacturer to the Bajaj Finance, and the manufacturer claims it as advertisement cost or marketing cost, or let's say any cost they wish to put in. Now they Bajaj Finance to apply for a zero cost EMI, they charge a processing fee. They charge a processing fee of very minimal amount depending on the gadget you wish to say or any other item you wish to have on EMI. and by using that card they give you a specific time period that you will have to opt for 6 months or 8 months. So by doing this they know that the cash flow is steady, and they will be, as I mentioned, that they will be using you psychologically, and you will be utilizing Bajaj Finance card extensively each and everywhere, even though you don't require an EMI. So how did they start giving to n number of customers? At the earliest, they didn't give the Bajaj Finance card to the business holders or to anyone else, only to the salaried person with certain minimum salary value. So if you are a salaried person and even if you have 1 month slip with you, they are going to give you a Bajaj Finance card based on your salary slip and the amount of credit available to you based on your salary. So how did they get this information available? So because you are on salary and you are paying taxes and all, you already have a PAN card. So by searching the information on your PAN card, it is easily available. The credit score is easily available, and as a Bajaj Finance guy, I would be knowing that okay, this one person is acceptable and we can give him this much amount of credit. So this is how the Bajaj Finance came, and later on the credit card companies as well as now debit card companies are also giving EMI options, even though it might be on certain interest or zero cost EMI. But right now each and every card holder has an option to go into the EMIs. So now we talked about EMIs, but basically how does your credit score get impacted? And as you are using credits, it is called credit card and or else any other type of card, let's say Bajaj Finance or some else card, you have a credit score generated. So how is it impacted? So basically there are 3 to 4 criteria or 3 to 4 measurements by which your credit score is generated, and overall when your credit score is generated it impacts on your other credit. Let's say you wish to take home loan or car loan or any other particular loan, it impacts your interest rate. So if you have a good credit score, it impacts you have a lower interest rate. If you have a bad credit score, definitely the companies are going to charge you higher, because there is no guarantee that you might not default. There are chances that you might default. So how are your credit score impacted? The first thing is you need to make on time payments. So what most or I don't know, many people might be making the mistakes of when you pay something for the credit card, even though the limit might be, let's say RBL Bank gives 5 lakh credit limit, and you paid 1.5 lakhs for buying something. So because you have 1.5 lakh in your savings account or any other account, you don't need to pay it immediately to clear off that balance. You need to pay it when the bill is generated and when your amount is due. What happens when you pay earlier? When you pay earlier, it is said like you bought for 1.5 lakhs, you paid 1.5 lakhs from your savings account, and what happens? The 1.5 lakh is not considered as payment, but you have added additional 1.5 lakh rupees, through which your 1.5 lakh is deducted and you have extended your credit limit by that much amount. So this impacts your scores negatively. Do not make a mistake of paying earlier than your bill is due. The second is late payments. Do not make late payments, because the credit card companies or any finance companies will be earning most of out of late payments. What happens is, you must have seen in your credit card statement that you have a total amount due, you have a minimum amount due. that is relatively 5% of the total amount due. So the companies usually want that you make payments between the minimum amount due and the total amount due. They don't want, the companies do not want that you make full payments. Why? Because the credit card companies or any other NBFCs charge between 36 to 46% per annum, and you are paying that much interest on making late payments itself, or making or not making full payments itself. This all things affect your credit score negatively. So it is better advisable that you make full credit payment itself when the amount is due. This thing goes on public records. So if you file for bankruptcy or anything, everything is publicly recorded on your PAN card itself. So if you file for bankruptcy, that is on the public record. If you are not paying your credit card bills, it is on public record. You are not paying for something else, it is on public record. You are paying for everything on time, it is on public record. So it is up to you whether the credit score gets impacted positively or negatively. The second point is the amount owed. As I earlier mentioned that you bought for something for 1.5 lakh rupees and you still have a credit limit, do not max out your credit card or do not overutilize by adding more money into it. If you have more money, use debit card, even though you might not get EMI option, but it is better advisable to use debit card more and use credit card to maximum availability of, let's say, 30% or max to max 50% and not more than that. What happens when you use more than 50%? It goes as a red signal to the credit card companies that there are chances that you might default, even though you have a good payment history and a good credit score. But it goes as a red signal that you are utilizing way too much credit, even though it is available. You might have 5 lakh credit limit, but you are utilizing way too much credit limit and you don't have that much in your savings account. That is why you are utilizing way too much. So it is better to keep under 30% or max to max 50% and not more than that, because this may impact your scores positively or negatively based on how you use it. The third point is the length of credit history that you might be utilizing it. The length of credit history affects way too much, as in, because you might be utilizing the credit card or debit card or anything. You might have a period of 1 year or 2 years that would impact positively on your credit score. Let's say you apply for a new credit card. So right now you had a limit of 5 lakhs, you applied for another credit card and you had another 5 lakh limit. So your total limits is 10 lakhs because you can use 2 credit cards. Earlier you had one credit card and you had a time period of 1 year. Now what will happen, that it will be divided by 2. So the credit history, or we can say, it will be divided by 2 and the credit history will be shown as 6 months only. Because you have 2 credit cards, it will be divided by 2, and even though you used one credit card for a period of 1 year, it will be just 1 to 6 months. They also, the another point is the new credit which you apply for, it is not much impacted, but because you are using credit, it will be impacted some 10% or 15% to the total amount of it. So the new credit, as in, say, you are taking car loan, you are taking home loan, you are taking any sort of loan that is available to you, and this will be impacted by a weightage of 15% to 10% based on how good you are paying it, based on how good you are managing your credit. So basically, at the end of the day, what the company wants is that you keep on utilizing credits and it keeps on using, you keep on paying interest and they keep on earning money. So that is the whole business. This is how they earn, and this is how your interest payments to interest rates all will be affected through your credit score. So what happens to those who haven't even recommended or don't use credit card at all or haven't applied for credit card itself? So there is currently no mechanism that the banks or as the NBFCs can say that this is a good person, even though you might have 30 to 40 lakhs in your savings account. The NBFCs as well as the banks won't be able to give you a credit score because you are not utilizing one. And but when you go for loan, they will be basically confused, or they will have to have a new mechanism to find out whether this person would be able to pay me or not pay me. So that is why they apply for collateral, that you give us the collateral of some amount. Currently what is happening, I am not talking about in India, currently it is happening in US, that companies or banks such as Goldman Sachs, Wells Fargo, Bank of America are collaborating and trying to create an algorithm which identifies that this person has, even though not utilized any credit card or doesn't have a credit history, but is safe or unsafe based on whether you wish to give a loan or something. Because there are many people who do not wish to use credit cards, such as me. I would like to use more debit card itself. And then the banks are thinking for an algorithm that how to analyze those kind of people who use this much. So that's all for today. If you like the video, subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit a like button. Thank you.